Hey, boys and girls, here we are, lesson 4, bubble 7. I'm chuckling to myself because this is brand new. I have not seen these. They were not part of they were not part of this project last year. Code.org has added these, so this is the first time I'm looking at them. So I'm going to go through them with you and show you how they work. I mean, I've never even looked at them, but I'm pretty confident that I'll know what's going on. So let's go take a look at them. All three of these are required. You do have to do these. So let's start. We're going to do all three. So let's debug the hidden shapes first. Part A. Here we go. Okay, it says the code below should be making a pretty picture, but right now only one ellipse is showing up. So here's the pretty picture. It looks like a rainbow colored bullseye at the top right corner. Can you see that? Why is my, hang on. A little technical here. So I'm looking at this picture right here, beautiful rainbow colored bullseye. Okay, and here's the code. So let's take a look at it real quick. It says fill orange ellipse. So it's going to draw the orange ellipse, then the yellow one, then the green one, then the blue one, then the indigo one, then the violet one, the red one. So it is rainbow colored. Those are all the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so it draws the red one. Now, do you know what's going on? What the problem is? So the do this says debug the code, so the picture shows on the right. So what's happening here is that the red ellipse, which is actually a circle in this case, and why? Because because the width and the height are set to be the same number. When the width and height of an ellipse are set to be the same, it's just a circle. Okay, so the red circle is being drawn, and it comes last in the code. This is the red circle code right there, right? Lines 13 and 14, red circle. Why is it the only one that shows up? Because it's the biggest one. Look at the size. It's 400 by 400. The other ones, if you look at the width and the height, none of them are 400 by 400. So the red one's the biggest one, and even though it comes last, remember the last one goes on top of everything else. So the red circle, in this case, the red ellipse, is showing up in the display last and covering everything else. So what's the easy fix here? You got it. Let's drag that red ellipse up to the top and have it drawn first. Where'd it go? It just disappeared. All right, well, I'm just gonna make a new one. Oh, no, it didn't. Where'd it go? Fill. Yeah, it just disappeared. I don't know where it went. If that ever happens to you, don't worry about it. You could start over, but I'm just gonna make a new one. I'm gonna fill this with red. I'm gonna drag an ellipse out, put it in right there. Watch that yellow bar. I want it right there. I want it centered at 200, 200. Look at the centers of all these ellipses. They're all 200, 200. They all are. They all have the same center. And I want it to be 400 by 400. So that's perfect. Let's reset it and finish. Boom, perfect. So we figured it out. Let's go to the next one. Good job. Okay, we're going to debug the missing shapes, part B. Here we go. Okay, so it says when the code below is run, nothing shows up. Debug the code so that an image shows up. So we run it, we don't see anything. So something's going on. Let's see what's going on. It says lines 1 and 2 say draw a black rectangle, then a white rectangle, lines 3 and 4. Then another black rectangle, then another white rectangle, then a black rectangle, then a white rectangle. Okay, so what's happening? Why can we not see what is going on? If you look carefully at the code, remember that the first two values, so in this case 500 is the x-coordinate. Is there a 500 on the grid? If we go over to the display area and start hovering our mouse, the most we can get it to show would be 400. That's in either direction, x or y. That's the biggest number we can, because that's as big as it is. It's only 400 by 400. So if this code is telling, it's telling these rectangles to be drawn at x equals 500, which means what's happening is, actually, let me change to the pen. At this rectangle on line 2 at 500, x 500 and y 50 is being drawn way over here off the display area. You can't see it. That's the problem. So we have to change these numbers. So we have to look at where this, we're going to have to change that X value and maybe the Y values also, because they don't all have the same top left corner. Some of them are different. But we know that the biggest one comes first. So the big square here, the outer black, the black square that's the biggest is the one that should go first, because on the other ones, the smaller ones go on top, just like we did for the circles before. So I'm just going to guess and call that, I don't know, X equals, I don't know, 25. I'm going to change this value right here, 500, right here, to 25. Okay, and I'm just going to see what happens. Okay, so I'm looking at the margins right here. They look pretty good. They look pretty good like right there too. So now the next white square, I'm going to say, well, it doesn't have the same exact top left corner. So I'm going to say, let's change that from 500 to, I don't know, X equals 35 and maybe 60. So I'm basically adding 10 from the first rectangle. I'm from 25, I'm adding 10 to make 35. I'm from 50, I'm adding 10 to make 60, because I'm looking at these top left corners up here and they're not separated by a whole lot of space. Can you see that? Okay, so let's just see what we have now. Reset, run. Okay, that's looking pretty good actually. I like that. So that's basically what we're going to do for all the rest of the squares. We're just going to keep adding 10. So I'm going to change this one to 45, this one to 70. Then I'm going to change this one to 55 and this one to 80, this one to 65 and this one to 90. And then finally, I'm going to say 75 and 100. Let's run it and see what we got. That looks pretty good. What do you think, boys and girls? I think that looks perfect. What do you think? I'm happy with that. I think it looks great. If you need to rewatch this, definitely pause it, go back, take a, you can definitely rewatch what I just showed you if you didn't quite get it. I left that red square up there. Never mind that. I probably should erase it. There is the eraser. All right, you guys did a great job. I will see you in the next bubble.